See if we can get...
Good afternoon, Mr. Jacoby.
Hello, Miss Rachel. How are you?
Oh, wait, that's not you. Say it again. Say it again.
No. How are you, Miss Rachel?
I'm good, thanks.
That's not me. I get confused.
That's not you.
Nice to see you, my dear. Everything all right?
Nice to see you, too. I'm good. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Welcome to Raising the Standards. It's our annual All Things Cinequest, and we are Cinequest. I added a syllable because they're that good. But we're delighted that our old friends, Kathleen Powell, co-founder of Cinequest.
Hello.
And our dear buddy Sal Pizarro, who does the column, I've Fallen and I Can't Get Up, Where's My Drink? Is that what it's called?
That's the new name.
It's called Around Town for the Mercury. And we have to pause for the paparazzi now here to take pictures in the studio.
Oh.
Anyway, and Cinequest starts, Miss Kathleen, next Tuesday.
It's just days away. We're opening on March 11th.
Or as we say in the business, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Well, this Tuesday, depending on
Or this coming Tuesday.
Depends on when people are listening to this, though. You know.
That's true. That's true. Normally, when the morphine drip runs out, they can start listening again. Sal, you look good.
Thank you. You know, I've been exercising, trying to keep fit for Cinequest.
Yeah.
It's, 2 weeks of
Drinking.
just going, well, not just drinking, but movie watching and meeting people and talking to filmmakers and fans and immersing yourself in that movie experience. And honestly, by the end of it, I'm exhausted usually.
Well, coincidentally, I'm exercising a deal myself. I'm trying to get back to my original weight, 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. All right, we're not going to talk Academy Awards, except toot your horn on that deal, Sal. You got 12 out of 13.
And
you got Best
No
Picture,
way.
correct?
Got Best Picture, got everything but original screenplay. And got myself some nice tickets to a local movie theater as a prize.
So you were the top winner.
He's a winner.
12 out of 13.
That's shocking. That's shocking.
And our ballot at home, though, I might have changed it because I did all the categories, and I got 14 out of 23.
Wow.
So, and I don't think I picked all the same winners.
Oh.
Well, it was funny because I fell asleep during Adrian's speech. Yeah,
We help each other.
I woke up. I appreciate that. I woke up during the State of the Union, and the next day I just thanked people I didn't know and confused. But it was. Did you enjoy the show?
I enjoyed the James Bond tribute.
The James Bond was great, and I thought the opening with Conan coming out of the body
It was a little gross.
it was good physical
kind of
humor.
the alien
A
thing.
little
It was good.
distasteful.
I thought Conan did a great job. I think they should bring him back for a couple more years.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea what. Yeah, I mean, you're a host. You're somebody. It takes a lot out of you, I'm sure.
Take a look in the Cinequest book or website and look for my name, and we'll know how good a host I am. Oh, is it again I'm not invited to host? That's all right. You guys are going to keep coming back until I'm invited.
Fabulous.
Well,
how many years have we been doing this?
How many years have you not been doing Cinequest?
It was that whole incident
how
with
many
you
years?
and Kevin Spacey, man.
Spacey did write me a thank you note with his room key. What about, what year is this for Cinequest?
This is year 35.
Wow.
So we probably have been doing this, I'm going to guess 15 minimum.
That's
wouldn't you
awesome.
think?
Yeah, this show, the four of us.
Yeah, that feels right.
About 15 years.
Yeah.
It's
And,
awesome.
all right, well, let's get to it.
And none
First
of us
of all,
ever ages.
So isn't that incredible? I know.
What's that? None of us
Sal
have
was
aged?
just pointing out the obvious fact that none of us ever age.
That's true.
It's pretty
Exactly.
amazing.
If he puts those glasses back on, he may change his opinion.
What about, just quick question, do you guys keep track of how many movies you see every year?
I used to.
Yeah.
It used to be easy because Cinequest is such a social event
Yeah.
that I would often end up seeing fewer than 5 movies out of the 100 and something.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been better, and I've gotten it up to about 10 movies. Because I also have a day
That's
job,
a lot.
you know,
No, that's a lot.
because I like to see some of the major stuff, but it's also fun to just go like middle of the day and catch a couple of screenings, or the shorts. I count those as separate movies.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, when you say major stuff,
Well,
in fact, they are major in terms of importance.
We've
and
got
perhaps-
world premieres. We've got the opening night, closing night.
That's
Yes,
so great.
but they are independent films by and
Right.
large.
238 films from 45 different countries.
That's
so
incredible.
documentaries, features, comedy, shorts. We'll get into the AI stuff this year in this conversation, but yeah, 110 world and U.S. premieres.
Now, the first year, how many films did you have? Like 2 films and
We
a
had
video, or
3
what?
days, and I think it was like 21 films or
Wow.
something. Or, no, it had to.
We had
Yeah, because we
one
were
big
no, it was
box of
crazy.
Isn't that
popcorn.
incredible?
And it was like 2,300 people, and now 2019 was our record year because pre-COVID and 2020 we had to shut down halfway through it in March of 2020. But now we're rebuilding back up to that 2019, so over 100,000 people.
Now, that first year, did you have to go out and say, "Come on, enter your film"?
You
You got a film? No, leave me alone.
It's a process, but
But now they're lined
it's
up.
like crazy. Like we take these huge jumps in submissions the last several years, and it's all word of mouth. It's not like we're running TikTok ads, to filmmakers.
How many admissions do you get? Or
Submissions is over 4,000. I think it might even be up to 5,000 or so.
And you watch. I know you don't personally.
I don't, but our
your
teams
staff,
do.
Somebody watches
Yeah.
every film.
We've got feature.
Or at least part of
Program.
I
everything.
was
Yeah.
just going to say, yeah.
They really get in there. Nowadays you get a Vimeo link, right? So the filmmaker knows if you've watched their film or not, or at
And they
least
know where you
played it
stop.
through.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it used to be that they'd
Oh.
get a VHS. Like we as filmmakers, which Houghton and I are, we had the experience, as submitting to other festivals, and you'd get your VHS tape back in early years, and you could tell exactly where they stopped. It was like, okay, they watched 3 minutes.
I found that true
man.
with porno films. Nobody ever watched the credits.
I can't speak to that, but
We've been doing this
Yeah, we don't
so
know.
long that I could see
knew
where
it.
he
You
was
knew.
going.
No, I
he
know.
was waiting for his
I know.
moment, and I said, "Okay,
Who
thinking
who
about
was
it.
the key grip?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
okay. Well, who's the best boy?"
Well, it depends which scene you saw. So
That's so great, though. All the artists have an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I mean, everybody's given a fair shot.
Are
That's
you
what's
the
really cool.
are you the largest independent festival in the world?
no, we are not the largest, but we're ranked number one
You're
by.
the coolest.
We rank yes,
Yeah.
because we were ranked number one by USA Today readers. We've always been in the top 10 lists for worldwide festivals. So we're the artists and the folks that attend are where that grassroots real.
From an independent standpoint, I mean, in major films you have Cannes and Telluride and stuff. What's the biggie?
The biggest
most
festival?
nationally known or worldly known.
Well, people know Sundance,
Yeah.
but
Oh, Sundance is independent.
I mean,
probably
Sundance-
the biggest film festival attendee-wise is Toronto. I'm guessing.
That was going to be my guess. It was tough. Yeah.
because they run so long and they've got, it's a big industry festival for.
What about Tribeca? Is that still?
Tribeca's,
That's De Niro's, isn't it?
yeah.
He's
I mean, I give them a lot of credit. It doesn't. We don't get as much overlap or conflict with Tribeca or hear much about it, but I'm sure it's still doing well. That's in New York City.
Now you're not going to do a Sundance and try to move to Cincinnati or something, right?
Well, just see what the year brings for us.
Now-
Where the wind blows.
Where the wind blows.
Over the
but-
last few years, with all the challenges from the health standpoint and everything else that the industry has gone through, you had kind of enlarged and gone out to Redwood City and different
We had
locations.
to.
Are you still doing that?
Not this year because we went to Mountain View and partnered with the Icon Theater there. And Karasotis, the owner of that, went belly up last year. I mean, they just couldn't survive coming out of the pandemic like a lot of these theaters. But that theater, as well as their location at Westfield, were bought, and they are now going to be part of Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh, interesting.
And so, which if you've been to one of their venues, there's one up in San Francisco, it's a whole experience. And the quality that they do full food, but the quality of their projectors, and then the lobbies are geeked out with video games and there's other things to do. And they do a combination of first run features as well as like
A lot of
retrospect,
Cool.
of great cinema.
We'll do
And so
festivals.
they love festivals because it brings that event in. So they're all about the event and the experience. So I think we've already been in talks with them, and they're going to open up late summer, early fall. That
And where's
rebranded.
that going to be?
It's
Cinequest.
at Mountain View.
Mountain View,
Yeah,
okay.
and
Oh,
so
same.
we'll look forward to that next year because that's such a great location for us. We'll still use the California, we'll still use the Hammer in downtown San Jose, but getting up the peninsula allows people who are working to get to something, on the way home.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so it's
with
a
you
great
guys
location.
here every year, it's because of how much Rachel and I love the event, love you too, that you really are essentially preaching to the choir. But I can't think of a better member of this choir to talk about how much she loves Cinequest and why than you, my friend.
Yeah.
Of course.
Talk a little bit about it.
Oh, like when
Your first experience.
Oh my God. It's been so amazing. But one very particularly memorable year, I went with my mom. I went with my mom a few years, but while she was still feeling pretty well, we went, and we had two or three really, my mom was such a funny, she loved being able to go and talk to the artist. That was a really big deal. And so we saw one film in particular that was a documentary about, I think they were based in Wyoming, and it was a ranch, and my mom was a competitive cutter, so we went and we watched cow cutting and all this it's totally close to home, something she was doing every day. And then at the end of the film, everybody stood up and started clapping, and the filmmakers were sitting next to my mother. And I remember, she talked about that for months. I mean, and we were going to treatment at Stanford, and she was telling the oncologist at Stanford, I went to see this amazing thing, and it gave her something to really think about. And then we went to one of the parties, and she met these young filmmakers, and it was one of those things where I go, where's my partner? Where's my wingman? Oh, she's talking to those nice-looking young men over there, actually, is what she's doing.
Awesome.
And they were lovely. Oh, we're going to go get you a glass of wine. I mean, it was just really, we had a couple of really, really good years there.
Well, and I
We
think
loved it.
you really hit on the point that it's about the experience and the connections
Yes.
that you make. And, when you are sitting in the theaters, you're sitting next to billionaires and people living off their credit cards, famous people, up and coming. And it's just really a place where everybody's on the same field. It's not that, oh gosh, we can't get into the X and X party, and have that
Exactly.
special. No, it's like you come, and that's why the artists love it.
Yeah.
Stuart Copeland. I mean, every year these people rave about, I can walk down the street and just talk to people and
Exactly.
not be felt like I'm going to be ambushed or
Students can go.
And well,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what's really interesting.
we can all go.
Is that normally the experience of seeing a major film, a studio film, ends with watching the credits. Your experience actually begins with either not only watching the credits, but sitting next to the credits, having
Yeah.
a chat with the credits,
Right.
and maybe having a glass of wine with the credits.
Right, and
Oh.
and after those credits, but before the glass of wine, those filmmakers are up on stage,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a
Well,
moderated
you do Q&As
conversation.
after
We-
every film? Or
Pretty
Most of
much
them.
every
Yeah.
most. There's some films that won't.
I think
that
if the filmmaker's there,
the filmmakers are there, they're going to be up on stage doing a
So,
Q&A.
is there someone that hosts that part? To
Oh yeah,
talk to them?
yes, there is.
Circling back.
okay, here,
Fabulous
well.
interviewers.
Would this be?
Wonder where we're going.
How do I phrase this? Would this be somebody who's been around a long time?
Yeah.
Luckily,
It might be
with
somebody
some
who's
notoriety?
funny.
Well, we have somebody in the room who's doing one this
Oh,
year.
absolutely. We always have someone in the room. When he's
Exactly.
Well, and that's actually been one of
I'm
my
the first alternate for Sal.
That's one of my favorite parts in not just going to Cinequest as an observer, as a viewer, but that level of participation I enjoy because we all sit and watch these movies and think, I wonder why the filmmaker did that, or how that casting happened, or how long did they take to make this film. And then to be able to get up there and talk to the filmmakers on stage and answer those questions for the audience is really fun. And I've gotten to meet some really, really amazing filmmakers that way.
Nicolas Cage.
Absolutely.
Well, Nicolas Cage, that was a fun one. I would
You
say
never know what they're going to do, and so you got to be prepared. And so Sal's our go-to to handle those. That we're just not sure what's going to happen.
And you never really know where it's going to go. I remember with Fred Armisen, Jane Lynch showed up backstage, and they were mugging around together. And she said, "Are you going to have an audience Q&A?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Okay, take some questions, and then call on me." I did that. I called on her. And that was it. The next 20 minutes was the Fred Armisen, Jane Lynch show. And they just went, and I just sat back, and that was that.
They were so fun and
That's
so
so
engaged.
cool.
The whole festival, we would be out at Scott's eating dinner, and everybody, just all the workers came out. They're just your huge fans, and they're just, when we have these name celebrities in, they really appreciate the community
now, for years
interaction.
you've done,
yeah.
and I don't know if you still call it the Maverick Award. Or
We do.
Okay.
Yes,
Maverick
and
Awards.
I don't know if you don't know the name of the award. I'm not sure how much she's going to be picking on you to host something.
Exactly.
Good call.
look,
It's
I
a really
just-
good point.
I just want to be
Fair.
out the rope out
How
front.
many years
asking
has he been
people.
coming to Cinequest?
No, I'm seeing that. Yeah, I just want to be the guy who stands out front and says, "Perhaps the tickets are on your phone." But throughout you've had Harrison Ford, right?
Harrison Ford, Nicolas Cage, Gus Van Sant, Werner
Yeah.
Herzog,
One of the
Alan
Fannings.
Baldwin.
One of the Fannings.
Elle
Is it Elle
Fanning.
Fanning?
Oh,
or something?
yeah.
And I was on stage for that one with
Yes, you
her
were.
that year. She was a delight.
She's cute.
She is so talented.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, her and her sister,
Born.
their careers are just
Redford
amazing.
too. was
Born
there.
talented.
Robert Redford's never been to Cinequest, but
Edward
Must
James
have been-
Olmos.
I'm sorry, I introduced him at Sundance.
Edward James.
Oh God, here he goes. But that is a very good point. Is that you have all of these? You've got these really high-profile people, these public figures, and it's so accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, a student could get a ticket, a VIP pass, whatever. It's everybody.
We are all
We're
inclusive.
all there.
Yeah.
We're all there.
And I love that it's not so much about like the star power of like you said, like a Redford.
Yeah.
Right? Because what was neat was like the year J.J. Abrams was there.
Right.
It was all about the writing. And so he was talking about, talking with the students, talking about the writing process. And this was just after Lost when he was doing Star Trek. And it was really interesting to hear him. Same thing, you had Ben Mankiewicz in conversation with
he's
Tom
great.
McHenry talking about movies and you
And
just
his
love those people who just love movies.
Yeah.
Oh, they must,
And the making of movies.
Well, they must love the realness of having interaction with audience members and
Did
people
I
who
say Tom
actually
Mc-
care
or Tom
about that
McHenry and
stuff.
Ben Mankiewicz, yeah.
You said
Well, it certainly begs the
It's
question.
amazing.
This year's Maverick.
this year's Maverick. Sal, would you like to announce? Since
Well,
you'll be part of that
I
big
will
event.
be. That's Gillian Anderson, who most people know from the X-Files.
Absolutely.
I think, Michael, you probably remember her from her role as Margaret Thatcher on The Crown.
I do.
She was quite lauded for that because it was such a turn for her. And she's in a movie called The Salt Path that looks very interesting. And, she's just a huge international star. I had no idea until she did The Crown that she was technically British. She's half British.
She's technically British.
Well, that's what they call it, literally.
Literally.
She's literally subject to the crown.
She just didn't rent that accent.
Yeah.
She
And I
actually likes kippers.
think she's going to be a delight. From all we've heard about her, she's like really genuine and personable, and so I think she'll really appreciate the connection with the audience and her time with Sal on stage.
I'm starting my research.
And that is on March 22nd at 5:45 at the California Theater. And so it'll be the last half of the festival, but not to miss event because it's selling really well.
You are listening to Raising the Standards. We're delighted that you're with us today for our tribute to Cinequest, our annual event with Sal Pizarro from the Mercury and his marvelous column, Is There Any More Drinks? Okay.
Oh, wait.
No, I don't know if that's what it's called.
Was it Around Town?
It's around town.
It's around town. And Kathleen Powell, co-founder of Cinequest, and Miss Rachel Selden, law student.
Oh, yeah.
And me, just wannabe host.
No, you're no.
No,
And
what do I do?
You are a host.
You're the host with the most.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere I go?
Yeah.
I'm a host. I'm carrying something.
It's expected.
You make this all happen.
All right.
True.
Let me take the sign down, compliment the host. Hey, so Rachel, you mentioned earlier, and rightfully so, all the various options for ticketing, which is wonderful. Whether you're like Sal and I and want the social interaction, or you just want to be left alone and see 45 movies, you can do that too. Let's talk about pricing so people get some idea and about options.
If you are a student or want to come during the matinee times, tickets are like $8.
Great.
That's crazy. And we haven't raised our prices. Regular screening tickets are $14. Wow. The events like opening night, closing night, a special event that includes a party bumps up to $30 or $45.
It's still
cheap. If you just want to come and see films only, buy the Film Lover Pass at $199 and just go for 13 days to whatever you want. And then if you are more of a partier and want to be in the lounge to meet the artists and want some special VIP sort of stuff, the All Access at $500 is...
$500 included. That's the full Monty.
Everything.
That's
you can be in there
party,
munching in the morning.
Everything.
You can be there, stop by for a Tito's vodka or a glass of J-Lore wine, or before a movie, after you come out, meet filmmakers in there. And
so cool. It's
everything
amazing.
else. So it's great. I mean, you cannot see everything because there's so much going on.
Now, where does you guys are a nonprofit, right?
We are a nonprofit.
Okay, because I saw the new BMW and it's beautiful.
I know, isn't that?
I know where the money
I'm not
goes.
driving a BMW.
Oh,
but,
no,
yeah.
you're not. That's I just dropped you off. But he's waiting.
My limo service.
He's waiting. But
My
I
hired driver.
assume the proceeds go back into the film community.
Oh my God!
I'm assuming
Duh.
no one told me.
It's crazy to think how much per seat it costs to do this. It's people are it's like nothing. You just get a big theater.
It's considerable.
Oh my God! I mean, the teams work all year on putting this together, and so we line up great sponsors to help. The ticket sales would never cover it.
Yeah.
Never.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we line up sponsors and grants, and individuals make contributions every year, and we're always looking, to expand that circle, but we've got some great support.
This is a question probably only I would ask, but when you deal with the theater, is it like a buyout? Do you have to? So you have to, even if you have a smaller crowd, you're paying for, if they have 220 seats, you're paying for every seat?
Well, we don't pay per seat. I mean, maybe that's factored into how they do their rentals.
Yeah.
But the California, I already have the keys. We have access 24/7. As soon as the symphony comes out this Sunday, then we'll be there the whole time using whatever we want to do in that venue. It's a different relationship with the Hammer Theater because they're owned and managed by the city through San Jose State. So they've got their whole teams in there, and then 3 Below theaters we're using again this year. And that's another arrangement that you've got to negotiate, and you're really at their discretion. And then we mentioned, earlier that we hope to be back in Mountain View again. That Icon Theater will be converted into Alamo Draft House. And so that will be additional screenings. It may occur the week after we're downtown like we did the last time we were there, so that we're focused here, then we're focused here. But it really gives a lot more people opportunity to come and see these great films.
And speaking of downtown, Cinequest is such an important part of the downtown experience, and vice versa. And you having done this for years, Sal, you have, I know when you cover in your column, Cinequest, but how it's happening, what's happening with the restaurants and the local saloons. if you will.
The saloons, the watering holes.
The watering
yes.
holes. I don't. You
So-
describe it as your home away from home.
Again,
I don't know.
Again, what's great about Cinequest year after year, and especially this year, is you've got the 3 venues with the California Theater as your main base, the Hammer Theater, which is a couple of blocks away, and then 3 Below, which is also, it creates a triangle.
Yep.
And you've got so many places around there, and, it's like, I'm not getting any sponsorships for these, but, you've got Scott's and EOS and Nick's, and you've got Mezcal. And Original Joe's, of course, where we go and hang out and have a Manhattan every now and then. The Sofa Market. You've got so many eateries, and of course the Continental Lounge, which is the VIP. I think it's again the
VIP
long-time
Artist
VIP
Lounge.
area.
So if you have that $500 pass, that's where you can go. It's right
And
next
there's
to the California.
And there's also galleries open during the second week of Cinequest. NVIDIA's big GTC conference is going to be happening. So downtown is actually going to be really insane.
It'll be so much fun. And don't be scared off because all these things are happening.
It's going to be fun.
There's
It
gonna be a
will be
level of
whether it's
vibrancy.
whether it's all these companies or engineers that are attending the GTC conference. They'll be coming over to Cinequest in the evening, which will be fabulous. And then you've got all of our
parking
artists.
pretty easy.
Yeah, and you've got all these artists, but the great thing is all these people are really creative, whether you're in technology or so they cross over and pollinate. It's just amazing. We're looking forward to it, this experience with a big conference in town at the same time. So don't be scared away. That's only midweek, the second week of the festival. It's not over our weekends. But come and just be part of it all. I mean, plan a little early, take VTA in. They drop off right by the theaters.
Do you two have, having done it for some time, do you have traditions that you stick with? I mean, you start saying, I'm going to do comedies on Tuesday and do this, and then I'm going to move on, or... Do you have anything like that? That little
are you talking about his
things about how you
tradition of how he attacks his festival lineup, as a viewer?
No, he says,
I mean, I always try to catch. There's one weekend where they have the shorts weekend, and I always try to hit that because to me that's really one of the more fun parts of the festival. And you would think that it's like usually an early screening on a like a weekend morning. Oh, no one's going to be at that. And it's usually packed.
It's packed. It's packed. We do the student series early on the weekends because we want to give the opportunity to more students to show at a big major film festival. But that's where we have to put it. You go to the Hammer Theater at 9 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday that weekend, those shorts are showing, it will be packed. Yeah. It's crazy. People love shorts because you're always going to find something in that series that you love.
Well, and I know one of the things I've looked forward to for the last 17 years that every year I get a message from Sal not to call him during Cinequest because he'll be hosting some things. So then he just leaves a note.
Hey, celebrity bartenders this year. We can sign you up.
I've done that gig and I screwed it up.
We did that together.
Remember we did that together and I didn't do
year.
very well because somebody wanted something with water. I went, hang on. And I was looking for the bartender's guide.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at that. But no one was poisoned because I tasted every drink.
There you go.
Well, that's good of you.
Yeah.
Everybody ended up
sure
with some sort of bacteria, but sure.
It's A-okay.
But die right
Should
away.
we talk about
Well,
some of
I was going to say,
specifics?
but I want to, when you talk about traditions, and this is because I know we're going to talk about AI and new movies, but one of my favorite traditions at Cinequest, I'm so thrilled it's back, is the silent movie night.
Yes.
Which this year is Nosferatu, and I don't know if you saw the remake.
I have not seen
the
it.
remake, but this is the original 1922 version.
Very cool.
By F.W. Murnau. Amazing German expressionism. You've got in the California Theater, which
With
was
the great
built
organ.
a few years after this movie comes out, with the great the Mighty Wizard and Dennis James playing. And I talked to Dennis about how he approaches these silent movies. And, they don't have existing scores.
Oh.
So
A lot of them
usually
don't,
he writes his own score or adapts it. So the experience is unique.
Yeah, and he's such a world-renowned master at this that when you can go in and see him, he so engages with the audience before and after the film, but you see the magic he can do to create your emotions and you're just reactions to a silent film. I mean, this is how they did it, at the very beginning. And so it really is a must.
Well, I hope the Nosferatu showing is after sunset, so most of the fans can come.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Friday
It's at
night.
They're vampires, Kathleen. See, they can't come during the day.
That's a
7 p.m. So
that's going to be close.
The
Times will
second
have changed.
Friday, March
That's
21st.
the thing, though. That's something to think about. There's a lot to do, and so you kind of want to
Map
get
it out.
organized. Yeah, my mom used to map it out. Honestly,
Yep.
I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants girl, and so I just kind of show up. My mom, she would sit with her schedule and circle everything, and then map out her calendar. And there's a lot of that's good. That's good
there's
stuff.
coordination.
You hit what you want to hit.
If someone is home right now, or when they're listening to this, is looking at a schedule and thinking of circling a few things, what would you suggest circling?
Okay, I would circle these because you're going to have a great, awesome experience, and then you branch out from there. Stay and go to a second show. But opening night on March 11th at the California Theater, luckiest man in America. You're going to want to see how somebody can trick the whole game show industry and figure out how to win endless amounts of money, and so it'll be fun. But right before that, of course, it's a big deal because the organ's playing and announcements are made and the kickoff's getting started. We partnered this year with MIT for their MIT hackathon, AI hackathon. And so we're bringing in the winners from this competition, and short films will be shown that evening. The filmmakers will be there. We'll do a Q&A with them to learn how they used AI in making their short film that won their category of this competition. And so that will really help the audience understand this whole thing about how AI is enhancing creativity and why people are worried about it or not worried about it.
Yeah.
But all of these will show a different aspect of using AI in film. And we'll repeat those films before other features throughout the festival.
You know what we should do is
What?
in a couple of months when things have settled down, let's do an AI show and talk about it from your standpoint, Sal, from Kathleen's standpoint, with you being in law school, and of course all my materials written by AI. So it's called Chat Gibberish 43.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's put together a show. That would be a very interesting show. And then we have AI do it.
I've never used it. I'm so curious.
For Michael's Chat GPT, the T stands for tequila.
That's right. I was just thinking we'll have AI write our openings.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then see how close they are.
But that's part of our DNA with Cinequest. We're all about innovation and technology, how it empowers creativity. And last year, we had a big all-day town hall event with the city on AI. Had a lot of speakers. This year, we're doing this showcase of what we've done with MIT. And it really is a hot topic to see the impact because people are afraid, right, of some things.
Totally.
You're going to use my image and my voiceover and you're going to create whatever you want, which is something to worry about. But it's a tool. And how you use that tool, it's just like when the first digital film camera came out. Well, this isn't going to work. This is crazy. It's part of an evolution with all these tools. And so you embrace, it's like, how do I use this to better tell my story and connect with an audience? And the things that we need to be afraid of that may relate to AI, I think are in other areas versus,
I think there's so much to be afraid of, particularly with the, and I believe that a lot of what's happened in this country is the karma from God getting even from us ignoring education for 3 generations. But the fact that the people who are watching AI and I can't tell. I can't tell anymore.
Well, but you're new. But we've been struggling with that for years with social media and false news.
And we'll save this for the AI show.
But the scary, because we could do a whole show on this, and I really don't want to dial that down.
Yeah.
But come out and learn how people can use it for storytelling in a way that saves money. It allows a short filmmaker, a low budget filmmaker, to all of a sudden have that screen and that story come to life in a different way. Yeah. Whether it's scoring the film or helping with some of the special effects, using it. It's not about taking Tom Hanks's image and
Right.
then, you're going to
I
get shut
understand.
down for
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But I would come out for that and really kind of just ask questions, be educated on
Absolutely.
Are
it.
there,
Oh, yeah.
are there seminars or presentations for a young filmmaker, say, well, can I do this with a GoPro? Can I do this with an Apple phone? Do we talk about that?
have done in the
I
past,
would think that'd be
those kinds of
fascinating.
things. So each year we pick different things. This year it's AI. We always have a full day about storytelling
Good.
and having speakers and pitch sessions. And, because it starts with the story. If you don't have a good story, you're not going to have a great film. So it has to have that foundation. But we're covering all the areas about how do you get help with financing and tax incentives and, how you get into distribution channels and why do you go to a film festival and how do you pick it? And, so there's a full day of that for the artists that really want to learn more and make connections in that space.
We're talking to Kathleen Powell and Sal Pizarro. Kathleen of Cinequest, Sal from the Mercury. We're going to take, let's do weekend liner notes.
Okay.
And then we'll get back to our conversation. Today, this is good. A fiery horse at the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. Yep. Today we pay tribute to Clayton Moore, Jay Silverheel, Scout, and the Great White Stallion. Now, don't yawn yet. This is about to get very cool. Keyword being about, but first the obligatory background paragraph. Written by Giacchino Rossini for the 1829 opera Guillaume Tell, the overture became a popular part of culture in 1949 with the premiere of ABC Television's The Lone Ranger. Now, if you're anything like me, you no doubt spent countless Saturday mornings laying in front of a flickering black and white screen waiting for that iconic opening. All right, time to get to the cool part. Another big fan of the Masked Man was a young boy from rural Arkansas, a young man with a guitar and a very bright future in the music business. From 1975, this is Glenn Campbell with a remarkable version of the soundtrack of our youth.
When I was a kid, the first Western movie, the movie period, they had a little theater in D-Line, Arkansas, I saw was The Lone Ranger in Tonto. And what impressed me most was, and it just really knocked me out. And you know what? I said, oh, Lord, let me be able to play that one day, because I was playing guitar at that age. And I learned to play it. I really did, man. Whether I make mistakes or not, you probably won't notice it anyway. It's a dadgum fast. But I'd like to do it in remembrance of Clayton Moore, my first Western hero, and Jay Silverheel. See, they were really something else. Hi-Yo Silver, away! Get 'em up, Scout!
arguably considered one of the great guitar players of all time.
I'll leave them to clap for you.
Glenn Campbell. As a matter of fact, I used to hang with Campbell at the AT&T 4 or 5 years, and we would always swap jokes, and he was...
Is that golf tournament that I've never been invited to?
Oh, good call, Kathleen.
You should come to my
Never been
Q&A.
on stage. Well, I've never been to that golf tournament.
Well, you know.
No, you're thinking of my golf tournament. That's an invitational.
No, the one in Pebble Beach.
She'd go to that one.
Yeah, anytime. We're with Kathleen Powell and Sal Pizarro from the Mercury News. Kathleen, the co-founder of Cinequest, with your partner?
Halfton Hussey. Halfton Hussey, yeah.
One of the great names.
One of the great names
Yeah.
that you have not learned to pronounce
No,
these past 35 years.
he had to have gotten beat up when I was a kid.
He's
Halton
no,
Hussey.
he was-
Halfton.
Oh, I love that.
Halfton.
We had him in years ago.
Nice.
He's great
been
too.
here. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
We've
I like
we've
Halfton.
pointed out from a fan and a viewer standpoint how much we love it. We've talked about some of the films coming up that you want to highlight, and if you got another couple,
Yeah, I want
into
to
it.
mention a couple just
Absolutely.
really quick. Like A Little Fellow, The Legacy of A.P. Giannini. We know him because he founded Bank of America. He founded Bank of Italy, that then, Bank of America and our banking industry today. But the majority of this film is about how he impacted so many other industries and what he did for immigrants and women and giving them bank accounts and credits, yes. But he said Disney wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for A.P. Giannini.
really,
And, Kaiser Permanente had a connection with him. So both of these sponsors of Cinequest, but you want to come out for this. I was so blown away, and I will be on stage at that event interviewing the filmmakers. Another one, American Agitators.
American Agitators, great. It's about Fred Ross, who founded the Community Services Organization and was a mentor to Cesar Chavez in San Jose.
Cool.
This one's a world premiere, right?
Yeah.
So this, for anyone who's been really interested in the labor movement here, and I think it's coming up again with a lot of immigrants.
think? Yeah.
Yeah, you think? I think this is a really important look into how those things started, 80 years ago.
Yeah, and get your tickets for that because this is one of the top 2 selling films right now. The word of mouth is out on this.
now are most of the films shown several times?
Most of the films show twice.
Twice. Okay.
Yeah,
So you have an option.
but that's
Other than opening
But
night.
there's like 10 or 12 that only show once. Another one, Bar. I know Sal wants to talk about Bar.
So local filmmaker again, Don Hardy. He followed 5 bartenders who were taking part in the Culinary Institute of America in NYC, their mixology program. And, if you have any interest in that world of mixology or bartenders, it's a really great look at how that works. And Don's
Very
a really
cool.
great
Don's
filmmaker.
a-
How many films at Cinequest?
I think this is his 5th. Amazing filmmaker. But, one of the exciting things about this documentary is the top mixologists in the world will be at Cinequest for this. And
So,
we'll be
you
experiencing them in the lounge.
You want
And
something
these
with
guys
water, he could make it.
They're celebrities. I mean, they have
Yeah.
huge
Oh,
followings.
absolutely.
They define this whole craft cocktail. We
and
wouldn't have
Jacoby's going to go up to them and say,
Jacoby
I'll have a
over there.
tequila.
That's
Yes.
exactly it. A shot.
A
Yeah,
shot of
a
tequila.
shot.
We don't do shots. What was the place downstairs across from the old Ulipia that was the speakeasy?
Haberdasher. Well,
Yeah.
not,
No.
well, it was a single barrel.
Single
probably.
barrel.
Single barrel. And I
We got
I
kicked
ordered
out
a
of
shot
there.
of tequila once.
Do you know we got
And I
kicked
said,
out of there, Cinequest, because we
don't do-
laughed?
Yeah, we laughed?
Yeah.
They allow laughing now. They allow laughing.
How about you? In the early
nice.
days, you were supposed to go in and be super quiet, like the cops were going to raid the place,
Yeah.
and so we got reprimanded. And so it's like, oh, I can't come
Too much
anymore
fun.
because we come from
I
being
will
social.
just say, Kathleen's been known to laugh at inappropriate times.
I
Yes.
have been.
Yeah.
I have been.
I get the church giggles.
Okay, another film
The
not to
people in
miss:
the next room checked out, by the way.
Tiger Mom.
Tiger Mom.
And thinking about the name,
Is that-
that's what the film is
Okay.
about. And of course, having a really diverse community that we live in here in Silicon Valley, the mix of the Asian communities, the South Asian, I mean, this is a film that so many can relate to.
Very
is
cool.
This whole world of being this aggressive tiger mom to get your kids in the best schools
Yep.
and to do well. So that's a not miss. What else is a not miss
Well,
for
you've
you?
got the closing night movie,
Closing
the
night.
Friend with Bill Murray, now who will not be here, of course.
Well, you never know.
You never know. You
Never
never
know.
He
Don't
might
know.
just-
Has,
You never
has he
know.
called and said I won't be there?
He
That's
has
a
No, he
not.
has
good
not.
point.
Good
That's a
point.
good
He has
point.
not. You never know who, and sometimes we can't announce who's going to be there, or we don't because.
Although you have
They
no
can
problem
announce that you
announcing
will not
who
be there.
isn't going to be there. You've never had a problem doing that.
Well, I don't say who's not going to be there.
Well, I know who's not going to be
I think
there.
we've spent more time on Jacoby's snub on
know.
the show
No
than we
more
ever
than
have
usual.
before.
No
I
more than
know.
usual.
It's
But-
typical to be
but what's
for
our-
that.
I
he
see.
said our show's going to be canceled
Yeah.
with him if when he is finally on stage.
Actually,
so.
Sal is staring very intently at the QR codes like he has X-ray vision.
Well,
this
reason-
will work.
So what's the thing about Cinequest and about Bill Murray is you never know, is that movie going to be like an upper or a downer?
Yeah,
because
like a Royal Tenenbaums.
right.
Yeah.
So true.
So Royal Tenenbaums. I just saw that this week because of Gene Hackman.
Wasn't that devastating?
Gosh.
Still scary. And then to find out. Anyway,
Well,
that's
no,
another
we can't-
show.
So
Hey, let's do a
sad.
show in a couple months on Gene Hackman.
Okay.
That, of all the celebrity deaths that
Yeah.
have happened, this one really affected me. I'm a huge Gene Hackman
Yeah.
fan.
Absolutely.
And just the unknown around it, I just have been just thrown up in the air and landed on my head the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks.
And it's hard to believe he retired 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hadn't made a movie since 2006.
Man.
And I think he was of that generation where I don't need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I want to stop where people recognize me. And Sean Connery did the same thing.
Connor, I would
Yeah,
that's who
that's
came
smart.
to mind. Jack Nicholson, who was at the Saturday Night Live. thing,
Yes.
Which,
And seemed a little bit like the old Jack, but not
yeah,
entirely.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Needless to say, there are a plethora of marvelous, marvelous films. A wonderful, wonderful
238.
week. A wonderful
Amazing.
week awaits you. Let's again talk about
13 days and nights.
13 days and nights. Well, what if I wanted to buy a ticket? Because obviously the only way I get in.
Cinequest.org. Just go there, click on the lineup. You can see the big events. You can sort them by comedies or inspiration films. You can segment what you want, what you're looking. The shorts. There's 12 series in the festival, so
Yeah.
you've got 12 different packages of short films
Do you
to watch.
still do, or is that only during COVID? Do you still do the online thing?
Yes. So following.
Now that's kind of cool.
This is
Very
cool. You
cool.
brought it. You had a good question.
No,
This
for
is-
those of us at home.
5 years old?
March 11th through the 23rd is the Cinequest Film and Creativity Festival in person. Then we go live on the 24th through the end of the month with Cinejoy, which you can get to
Oh,
through the
yes.
Cinequest website. But virtually, audiences from 52 different countries attended last year from all U.S. states.
Incredible.
So it really allows your network.
And how much is that?
God, this is cheap.
Is that
It's
buy the film,
it's
or can you buy a
It's
package?
$50 for the whole pass.
whole-
Wow.
And so you could sit
And you
there
could
and
drink
watch
at home.
24/7.
Yeah.
So, but it's like $3.99 for a movie or something. But I recommend $50. It's like
Incredible.
for 13 days you can, or for 10 or 11
But wait
days,
a
how many
minute,
it is, you can watch
And-
back to back to back.
But that begs the question: if you don't see all the films in 13 days, you can't record them, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you could probably hook
I
up
mean,
your
they don't
movie camera or
exist. Or
something.
could people say, at the end of which, geez, I loved it. I missed a couple of films. Can they come back online and buy them individually off at an off time?
Not from us.
Okay, that's what I'm
but
wondering.
these filmmakers have a lot of opportunities, and we champion these 238 films
Yeah.
because we believe they're worth seeing, and so they will go on in their progression, in their distribution, and there'll be opportunities to see them in the future. But you can see them one of two ways at Cinequest.
Yeah.
You can come to the in-person festival. If you miss something, 90% of the films are going to be online. There's a few other things that are added to the online thing. So you have backup, or if you want to rewatch it or you want to share it with your friends because you had such a great experience in person, you've got other opportunities.
Now,
Right.
next year at this time, I mean, will you come in and say we have 14,000 films? I mean, is there a finite number?
No.
Have we reached saturated? I mean,
No.
that's a lot of movies.
It's a lot of movies that are made.
There is a fight because there's only
Of course
so much
there
you can
is.
do
At
in
some
2
point.
Oh
weeks.
God, yeah.
I mean, I'm not even going there, but at some point, it's all the films we can do.
Oh, with showing, yeah. So if you watch 5,000 and you have to get it down to 238,
Yeah.
it's tough because we have to turn away so many great films every year. And it's just because, okay, let's balance the program. Let's do some short series. Let's get the documentaries. Let's get comedies. Let's get inspiration. Let's get thrillers. Let's get Asian films. Let's get Spanish-speaking films. You know, we are working with such a highly educated, diverse audience here in Silicon Valley that we want to make sure everybody has something that they really are excited about to come see. And what's more important is when they come see that they go see something else that they wouldn't have normally picked.
And there's audience awards too, right? So
Audience awards, you vote after your opinion matters. After you see that film, you vote.
And that makes a difference for these filmmakers who are just starting out trying to get distribution for their movies to be able to say it was the audience award
Yeah,
winner at
that's great.
Cinequest.
Absolutely.
And while you're there, go to a restaurant in San Jose as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Go downtown, experience downtown. If you have time when you go, register for that contest of being a host at Cinequest for the evening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just draw somebody out of the crowd.
They walk down the
They
street.
could care
We
less
just
who
pick
it is. You
anybody.
and the Toyota, they just bring
They
it.
only
Whoever.
ask one question. Is your name Michael Jacoby?
If it isn't,
it is? Oh.
you're in.
No room.
Thank you to.
Oh, it's Kennedy
no, for
Jacoby?
you.
You're okay.
You're
Kennedy
in,
can
buddy.
come in. Thank you to Kathleen Powell. Always enjoy to see you, my
Love
friend.
you. Thank
Sal
you for having
Pizarro,
us.
you are the best. It's called Around Town, your column.
Yeah.
Around
That's
town,
good.
not downtown.
Not downtown.
3 or 4 times a week in the Mercury News, every Sunday for sure.
Okay.
Great.
And Raising the
MercuryNews.com
Standards
for those
is
of you
here
who
and on
follow.
all your favorite streaming services. Do you have a
Absolutely.
favorite streaming service?
I use Spotify myself, but you were
Spotify.
throwing out a bunch that I didn't know we
I
were
got
on
'em all. I got 'em
YouTube.
all.
I'm an
I didn't know
Apple
we were
guy.
on
I'm an
YouTube.
Apple guy.
That's right.
We're
Exactly.
definitely not on YouTube.
We got an eight. Yes, we are.
Are we really?
Yes.
Okay.
We got an A-train?
We do. She's
right.
coming. Do you want? Should I bring her in?
Bring her in.
All right.
Anyway, thanks to Kathleen
you.
and Sal. Thank you, Miss Rachel.
Thank
next
you.
week, I see Michael Olson at the door. Next week, you're going to be with us for the veterans interviews, right? Okay,
Oh,
looking forward to that
love.
show next week. And as always, this show has been for Mark, for Georgianne, and for you. Until next Saturday, right here on Santa Cruz Voice, from noon until 1, and anytime on, Spotify, YouTube, FX,
Hey.
Paramount, whatever you
Yeah.
want. I'm Jacoby. We're on MySpace.
We're still on
Tinder.
MySpace.
Tinder. Check us out on Tinder. I'm Jacoby. I'll see you soon.
Hurry, 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 take the A-train to get to Sugar Hill way up in Harlem. If you should take the A-train, you get to where you're going in a hurry. Hurry, 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 now it's coming. Can't you hear the rails are humming? Leota, if you should miss the